like my first week, we were over in Lafayette somewhere, and I think I'd sold like one or two by then, but I was having a rough week, and I remember that it was a Saturday, and I was in an area, and I wasn't getting anywhere with anyone, and it was like 2 o'clock, and I just remember like kicking rocks, going from door to door, wasn't getting anywhere, um, and again, like those thoughts of doubt started to creep in. But what I did was, instead of hopping on my phone and calling my mom, calling my dad, instead of like calling my girlfriend, and venting about the job, instead of hopping on Facebook or Instagram, I put my nose to the pavement and I kept going. I just kept working. And I remember I had a call back like at 5 o'clock or whenever. It was towards the end of the day. It was one of my last doors. I went back to it, and I still remember it was that the husband came out, and he looked at me. His arms were crossed, I'm pretty sure, and he had said something along the lines of like, um, he confirmed the price. He's like, okay, so it's like $60 a month. And I was like, yep, that's it. I don't pay anything today. I was like, yes. And I remember he turned around and told me to come inside the house. And so I followed him in. And I remember the wife was there at the kitchen table, and I sold him. And it completely turned my week around. It turned my day around. Where I was like 2 hours earlier, I was just irritated and pissed. I remember I got out of that house and it was pickup time. I don't know if Brad remembers, but it probably doesn't. But we were at the end of a cul-de-sac, and I remember he was right outside waiting for me because I was in a house, and I remember like running across their lawn like a little kid because I was so excited because I sold one, and just completely flipped um, my day and my week. And I wouldn't say that was like a make or break moment, but I don't know for sure like what would have happened had I had I sat in a curb, had I pulled my phone out and spent the rest of the day on Facebook, had I called my mom and told her how stupid I was, or how dumb this was, right? Um, I don't know. There's no telling. And now 8 years later, I'm still here and I've made a ton of money, and it's been a great experience. So that that's what I would say with this, guys. Your first 2 weeks are going to be challenging, but if you can, like we always say, there's the rules: say the line, stay in your area, and do the job. Um, you will run into people, like you have to. So that'd be my thing. Stay off your phone, keep working, never give up. You're gonna eventually stumble, like this, the bottom side. You're gonna stumble in your first lay down sell eventually. Then you're gonna run into two or three, four. I should say there's probably one or two lay downs a week, if not more, that you're gonna run into every week. So if you can just do the job, you'll run into them. So if you want to go to the next slide, Pat. Um, so um, leading up to that, guys. So the next thing was before I knock the door. So what do I do when I'm going to knock a door, right? Um, so this is one thing I've trained. I think I've worked with Richard Miner. He's on this call, and then Parker, you're on here too. We've worked with you lately. This is one thing, guys, that when I'm working, and this is what you want to be doing. You always want to be engaged. You always want to be focused on the job. Okay, and even for vets that have done this for a long time, maybe this could be a good refresher, a good reminder. When I'm walking up to a house, I'm very alert. Okay, you want to keep your head on a swivel. You want to look up. You want to look out for things. I don't like to say this, but I like to scope out the house, like, but in a good way. Okay, so you want to look at things. Try to look for things that'll help you get a sale. So kind of like here it says, I'll look at how many cars. Do they have an alarm already? Do you see a yard sign? Do they have cameras? Do they have a smart home system? Like, is there a smart lock? That's one of the big things I'll look for. Doorbell camera, outdoor camera, indoor camera on the windowsill. Do they do those things? I could even ask. If someone wants to I'll even pick on someone here. Troy, I'm gonna pick on you, Troy Alger. Why, if you want to turn your hop off mute, turn on mute. How would that help you if knowing they already have cameras?
Knowing they already have cameras, then you're just going to try and get the system inside.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. You don't want to make it an uphill battle. You don't want to give yourself a bigger challenge than you already have. If they already have an outdoor camera, I'm just not going to pitch an outdoor camera because they're probably going to tell you, I don't need it. I already have one, right? Also, this makes it look a lot more like you're more professional and you're more engaged and you're more confident and you're better at your job. When you walk up to a house and a customer comes outside and they say, "Yeah, I already have a doorbell camera," then I'll say, "Yeah, no, exactly. That's why I'm here. Because you help us, we're going to put an alarm system. We'll build around your doorbell camera. We'll do everything else." I remember this past off season, we did a blitz in Nashville, and a guy came out and he had Blink outdoor cameras and he had a Blink doorbell camera. And I knocked on the door, and my whole pitch with him was, "Hey, you have that. That's great. We want to put our sign in your yard. You help us with that. We're going to come in and do everything else. So we'll leave your cameras alone. We're going to do a door lock, and we're going to do an alarm system. We'll cover all the doors, all the windows. We'll do a motion sensor smoke detector." He was a homeowner, is a really nice house in a good neighborhood. So I financed him. And I remember we ended up doing, I think it was like, yeah, door lock and like 16 points of alarm equipment inside. It was a really big system. But it was all just doors, windows, smoke, glass, motion. And he loved it. And it all started with being able to confidently sell the system that he didn't have yet. So when I'm walking up to a house, I'm kind of scoping it out. Okay, do they have cameras? Do they have a doorbell? Do they have a door lock? And what I'm doing in my mind is I am picking out my hot button for them. Okay. And I'll on the next here in a second I'll show you, but that'll help me there. You want to look for anything you can use to help you with your pitch. So again, how many cars do they have? Are there two cars in the driveway? Is there one? Is one parked off to the side? Does it look like there's an empty spot where another car should be? Because then if that's the case, then I'll probably just come up later. Or if I want to knock it, I'll knock it and I'll realize, okay, probably one of the spouses isn't home yet. So what objection am I going to run into? I'm probably going to run into I need to talk to my spouse. So that way I'm ready for it. I can have the customer I'm with, have them call their spouse or set up a return appointment. At least that way I'm not like blindly stumbling into the situation that I have no idea what I'm going to do. I'm already trying to come up with some sort of plan. Nathan, are you on this call? I think I see you. I did. Oh, you guys are all there. All right, yeah. Nate, what's a good way? I was going to ask you if you want to help hop on. What's a good way you can tell if someone rent or owns their house just by looking at it?
Whether they have gutters.
Gutters, yeah, that's a good one, yeah.
If they don't have gutters, well, if they do have gutters, they probably own. I've just noticed that's kind of a random thing. But if they take care of their house outside, if it's trashy, there's lots of junk outside, it's probably a renter.
Yep. If there's no like no bushes, landscaping, doesn't look like anything's been done to the house, they probably rent. And so and why would
that's fine, like a nice car that's probably been financed, or has it been bought with cash?
Yeah. So the reason why these things matter, because again, it's going to tell me real quick if this person probably has better credit or not. Also, that way I know if I need to finance for sure or no. And also, again, the objection of if I know that they rent, what's the objection I'm going to get? They're going to tell me that they rent. So that way, I'll even come up if the house obviously looks like it's a rental. I'll ask them in the beginning when they come outside, "Hey, you guys rent the house? Okay, you do. Okay, because you rent the house, we're going to do a wireless system." So I just squash it right there. So when you come up to knock a door, it's more than just like knock, knock, knock. Hey, I'm gonna spit my pitch out at you. Yeah, you do want to have your head on a swivel. There's a lot of things you can take in just as you're walking up to the house. So again, I'll walk up the doorstep. I'll look up. I'll see if are there any cameras? Is there doorbell cameras or a door lock? Okay, no. All right, my hot button's ready. I'm gonna pitch cameras. There's two cars in the driveway. Doesn't look like there's a spot that's empty. Looks like they're probably both home. I don't see an alarm sign. Looks like they probably own the house because yeah, there's landscaping and it's pretty. And I see a Chiefs flag on the doorstep, or I see a Chiefs doormat. So then Chiefs, I can talk about football, right? Pat, you want to go to the next one?
Jaxon, I would add on that too, guys. Not only just like what you're not going to use, but I'll look for like if kid toys are out. Okay, well now I'm pitching the mommy mode. Beep beep front door, beep beep back door. When your kids get off the bus, it'll text you a picture of them. Our doorbell camera has facial recognitions to where it can say, "Hey, your kids are home." If it's a really nice lawn manicured, I'm probably thinking, "Hey, this is an old person." So just by knowing going in, you can almost craft your pitch, and that can be with, rent, own, whatever. But like when they have, sidewalk chalk, that's a family. Okay. So their hot button probably isn't the thermostat. It's probably their kids' windows, where a normal person, I'm not pitching kid windows on people with kids. I'm building that value. Hey, a lot of parents, they're really worried about their kids' windows. How many windows do you guys have? So build it to that. It can just help you, I believe.
Yep. Thank you. Yeah. No, those are really good things as well to look for. Because again, guys, what you want to do, and this was my next point, was I want to have a hot button ready. Okay, so that's why I want to, when I walk up to the house, I need to have something that I'm going to talk to them. Let me see there, Alan. I'll pick on you. Tell everyone what a hot button is.
It's whatever the customer might be interested in and what catches their attention. That's the reason they're like letting you speak and hearing you out on their doorstep, is because they want something from you. So it can be like a camera, smart door lock, smoke detector, and equipment like that.
Yep. So kind of like Brad had said there was when you're walking up, like you see chalk, you see a bicycle in the driveway, a little tricycle or something like that. You want to have something ready to go, that like an arrow in your quiver, or like a bullet in the chamber, ready to use, to go to. That's going to allow you to get more time to talk to the customer. And so that's the thing. That's the reason why, guys, you want to have all of these things ready. You also want to think about, why would this person want the alarm? There's one thing I think sets a lot of the high performers apart from the lower performers. Like, I really do believe that, like, when Nathan Sawyer, or like Barbieri, or like Brady Dayton, or like even myself, like when I knock on a door, I envision them getting it, and I already have a couple of reasons of why they would want it in my mind. Like when I walk up to a house and I see chalk in the sidewalk, I see they have kids. I'm already thinking, oh yeah, no, they're gonna want an alarm because they have kids, because of this benefit, this benefit, this benefit. Yeah, the mommy mode. Camera's gonna tell you when your kids are in the front yard. The door sensor's gonna tell you when your kids try to go play in the street on this busy road here. It'll protect your kids while you're gone on at work. So I'm already thinking of reasons why they want it. So what that means, guys, is I'm envisioning success. I really am telling myself they want this. And so I'm sold on them being a good fit. And so that way, when I get objections, like I'm easily able to bypass it, because I know that this will help them, right? You also want to reset from the last door. And so you might be having a hard day. You need to reset in between each and every door. It's very important. So when you're knocking, I'll just say this: when you do knock the door, and I'll go over this pretty quick, but there's a couple things that I'll do. So when I knock, like if you guys have a door, when I knock, I'm going to face and look away from the door. Okay. And I will have my iPad out, and I'm like recording notes that I see from this house. I really just do the cars that I see. That's really it. I'll just put, if I see a car, like a blue car, a red car, that way when I come back around, like in 4 hours, and the car's gone, or there's a new car that I know something's changed, and I'll knock it again. You want to have your iPad ready. I've seen like rookies scramble and panic, and they're like, crap. And they don't even have Copilot open. They have their Snapchat, or they don't even have like the keynote ready. They're on Facebook. So you want to be able to have everything ready, so that when the customer comes out, you already have the hot button ready. You know they don't have an alarm system because you noticed there was no sign. It doesn't look like they have an alarm. And then you have your hot button and your cell 6 and your keynote. Okay. That goes a really long way towards helping sell. And then we've gone over this the whole time, guys. Everything that I just said is really hard to do. It's hard to do all those things when you're on your phone, like when you're knocking. So that would be the other thing, is stay off your freaking phone. Okay. We do these things because we want to help you. I have personally seen myself sell a lot more. My first summer, I've told this before. I'm not a good example. My first summer, I used to play Wordscapes on my iPad when I would get bored in between doors. And I found myself hoping that the person wouldn't answer the door so that I could continue playing Wordscapes. And I remember, like, I didn't sell as much. I started to kind of have like a dip, I feel like. And as soon as I deleted Wordscapes off my iPad, I sold a lot more. Like, I would knock the door hoping that they wouldn't answer so that I could keep advancing. But I didn't drive to Louisiana for 10 hours so that I could play Wordscapes all summer, right? Like I was here to make money. So, yeah, just don't get on your phone, brick your phone, delete Snapchat, delete Instagram, delete Facebook just for the summer or just for that week. And then on Sunday, once your day off, I'll download all of them on the Wi-Fi that you have in your apartment, get them back on there. But yeah, it's only going to hurt you. So this will only help you if you can get that stuff off and be disciplined. Pat, if you can go to the next one. Let's see. So features and benefits. Oh yeah, no, my pitch. Yeah, so I want to go over my pitch, guys. So one thing that I think that helps me sell a lot, and again, like with Nathan, and I think a lot of the higher performers, and even like Anson and Alan and like Ian and our team, what I think that they do really well is their pitch is very simple. And actually, this is why I think that rookies do really well in the beginning. Like Troy Alger is slinging. He sells consistently, and I just still don't think Troy knows how an alarm works. Like, and I mean that in the nicest possible way, right? And the reason is because Troy is new, and so he has to keep it simple because that's all that he knows. And that's what customers want. They want simple. So you want to keep it super simple. What I'll do is I have a clear, structured process that I take everyone through. What it is I'll do my name, I'll introduce myself, sign system advertising. I'll find the hot button, kind of like I mentioned earlier. You want to quickly get to that. That's my biggest like suggestion, or the biggest thing that I always train on in the summer is get to the hot button quicker. I think that's the biggest critique I have when I listen to pitches is you need to jump to the chase faster. Okay. And then you want to explain a little bit about the alarm system, and you want to transition inside the house. So if I'm pitching someone, I'll knock on the door, say, hey, my name's Jackson. I'll be real quick. I'm sure you're busy. What I'm doing is I'm in charge of these ADT signs, and I'll show my iPad that has the picture. What we're doing is we're picking a couple of homes where if you put the sign in our sign in your yard, we'll put a system in your home because you help us advertise. So sign system advertising. The main thing everyone's really wanting is they're wanting cameras. And so I'm sure you've looked into getting cameras before. Yeah, so because you help us with the yard sign, we're going to do a camera. So within me introducing myself and then bringing up the hot button, which was the camera, maybe like 45 seconds have passed. Not even that much. So within a minute, we're already talking about what I think you want. I think too many times rookies will try to be cute and ask a bunch of questions about maybe even like qualifying questions, and they'll bring in commercials and like the rejection rate of commercials because of Netflix and Disney Plus and the new changing market of advertising percentages. Like no one cares about that stuff. You want to jump to as quickly as you can. Just, hey, what's in it for me, right? Because if you think about like the customer, they're a homeowner, they're in their house with their family, they're watching TV, and then you just interrupted whatever they were doing. So you want to quickly get to what's in it for them, right? Because they have the right to be selfish. You're on their doorstep. So I'll quickly jump to that. So you want to find something they want and like wave it in front of their face. So like, yeah, hey, we're going to do a camera. This is what it does. It's going to do this and this and this. Explain how it works. And then once you give them like a little taste of it and then you get them excited about that camera, that hot button, then yeah, you'll explain about the alarm. So we'll do a camera and then we'll do an alarm too, because cameras don't call the cops. Have you ever had an alarm before? Okay, well, yeah, the first thing we do is we do door sensors. We do a little white block. And I'll hold my finger like this. It's this big. We put this on your door, just on your front door here. It goes on the other side. It goes on like the door front. If you don't mind, I can just step in real quick, and then I transition inside their house. And so from there, I'll step in, right? I'll try to keep it simple, consistent. I have like a structure that I take everyone through, and I think this helps me a lot by being consistent there, right? So, and again, keep it simple, guys. When you start adding in things that aren't necessary, it just starts to hurt you a lot. So, if you want to go to the next one, Pat. So, and then explaining features and benefits. This is one thing that I think we train on a lot in our office. I'll pick on someone. Pablo, I'm looking right at you, I think, over there in Nathan's window. What's a feature and what's a benefit? I mean, you probably see it on the screen, but
What'd you say?
what's a feature and what's a What's the benefit? Like, what's the definition of those two things if you had to explain it yourself?
Features what something does, and the benefits something that whatever that thing does will do for you, right?
Yep. Yep. That's perfect. Yeah. So like an example is like night vision. So what is night vision? So what's the feature of the camera? Well, the camera has night vision, so it sees at night. So that's a feature. And then a benefit, how I've understood it, is how is that okay? That's how is that going to benefit me, or how's it going to benefit the customer? Yeah. So the camera has night vision. So what that means is like in your backyard, we've heard about people like hopping fences and they'll mess around the backyard, especially like when you're on like vacation or when your family's asleep at night. The night vision is going to be able to tell you if anyone's monkeying around back there. It'll alert you on your phone, and you'll still be able to see back there even though it does get dark. And then someone did try to like kick in your back door because yeah, I don't think. Oh, you said yeah because you mentioned your light is out, right? Yeah. So even though your light's out, the camera should still be able to see pretty well. It'll let you know if someone's out there. So like that's an example of a benefit, right? Um, so a feature is something that the what it does, and then the benefit is like the how. I don't really spend a lot of time talking about features. I don't spend a lot of time talking about the what. I more talk about the how or the why. So why something helps, how something helps. This helps you paint the picture. So you guys are going to hear this a lot, especially rookies. You're going to hear paint the picture. You want to tell the customer and paint them a picture. Like, hey, this is what this outdoor camera is going to do. You're going to like describe it. Um, and you're going to give them an example, kind of like I just did, of a burglar hopping your fence while you're gone, or a burglar hopping the fence when your family's asleep inside your house. That's a good time when you're going to want a camera with night vision. And so now the customer's envisioning, they have like a picture in their mind, and they're thinking, yeah, no, you're right, this is a good idea. And it doesn't even have to be something scary, guys. Like yeah, I don't really like scare tactics. I actually don't do that a whole lot. I more use like practical, like practicality and convenience. So I'll talk a lot about like, yeah, no, just when a package gets delivered.
Makes me want to make money. Same with Breaking Bad. Watch like
Someone's Tyler Kemp. I think you're on muted him. Okay. Um, yeah, so like I will talk about and you don't have to use scare tactics, guys. Like I'm not here terrifying my customers, like I'm not keeping them up at night. I more talk about a little bit of crime, but I mostly do the convenience of it. So yeah, like when your package gets delivered, when Amazon comes, it's just gonna let you know. When your kids come home from school, it'll alert you on your phone when they're walking through the door because the camera will let you know. And then like when a door opens or closes, it's just gonna let you know. It'll chirp in the house. So that way, like if you're in the back kitchen, your wife comes home from work, at least now you know she's here. So like those things aren't gonna terrify anyone, but they're super convenient and nice to have. An outdoor camera's gonna let when the mailman walks on your lawn and comes up to your house so that way when your mail gets delivered. So you're doing that. And then the other thing on that note, guys, is you want to apply this to them specifically. So kind of like what Pablo said, and this is where you want to, like Brad said, you want to apply this to them specifically as the customer. So if I'm walking up to a house, I see a bicycle and chalk, a bicycle on in the front yard. I'm going to build a system for a family with kids, and then if I knock on the next door and a grandma like is hobbling outside with a cane, I'm not going to sell her a smart thermostat, and I'm not even going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about medical pendant, right? Talk about how that's going to help her. Yeah, so like in the shower, you can wear it. If you fall, it'll push the button. We'll call your kids. It's nice like when you go to bed, you can just turn the alarm on with a little remote. You push it. So you want to go ahead and tell them how this system will benefit them specifically. And that's a nice thing that you're able to adjust your system to fit them. And because that's where you have the power, to move things around. Pat, if you want to go to the next one? I think we're almost done here, actually. So these are my favorite three things that I like to do. And so I was kind of asked to go over some benefits of these things. My favorite three are the outdoor camera, the doorbell camera, and the door sensors. And so an outdoor camera, I'll explain the benefits of like, yeah, when your car gets broken into, we've heard about people checking on door handles at night, like when you're sleeping. If someone's checking your door handles, it'll let you know. If someone hits your mailbox, we'll angle the camera so it sees your mailbox. And because the camera records 24 hours, it's going to let you know if anyone was just in your yard at all. When I do a doorbell camera, I'll say like, yeah, when a package gets delivered, it'll alert you. We've seen that Amazon and FedEx, they don't really knock anymore. They just leave the package and then they run away. So then you're going to have a package sitting here for 3 hours and then someone comes by and steals it. So now what happens is when your camera gets, or sorry, when your package gets delivered, the doorbell camera will alert you on your phone. So like for example, when I just came up here, you would have had an alert when I was about 4 steps away. And even if the FedEx guy doesn't knock your door, you'll still get an alert that he was here because it's like motion activated. And then with door sensors, I love the mommy mode, like Brad said. Yeah, so you have kids, right? So when a door opens or closes, the door's going to chirp and it's going to tell everyone in the house that that front door is opened. So yeah, like if you're at work and your wife's watching the kids and she's busy doing something, and little Johnny here like wants to go play in the road, when he opens the door to go outside, your wife's going to hear beep, 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 front door. So that's a heads up that someone's like coming or going. So that way it'll let you know. And you can go grab them. Or like if you want to go play in the backyard in the pool, like at least it's going to tell you that they're going. So those are 3 things. I'll like, as you notice, like the door sensors I applied to specifically to like a family. The doorbell camera I applied to someone that orders packages online. And then the outdoor camera I applied to someone that parks outside. So those are 3 different things that you can do, right? We'll go to the next one. Pat. So I'll kind of wrap it up with this, guys, but this is a summary of it. So first, yeah, the job's hard. Sorry if your recruiter didn't tell you that. I'll tell you that right now. The job is hard. It is the most rewarding job I've ever had by far, like not even close. But that being said, it is hard. So what I would say is trust the process, trust your recruiter, trust the team that you're on. We've taken hundreds, like seriously hundreds of reps. I've been here for 8 years. We've taken hundreds of reps and we've helped transform their lives. I've seen lives changed, as have your recruiters. And we can do it for all of them. Like, couldn't we do it for you, right? So I'd say don't give up, keep going, trust the process, and just do the job. If you do the job, you will be successful. I know you will. The people that aren't successful is it's because they quit. They stop working. And then before I knock the door, I'm going to try to gather as much information that I can to help me sell that next person. I'm off my phone. I brick my phone. Like the people in the Baton Rouge office, and then I think in Mike's office too. I know they brick their phones. I know you guys think it's stupid, but like if I'm in charge of leading an office and I do it, like I genuinely do it every day that I knock, I brick my phone just like I'm an 18-year-old kid with no discipline, and that's because I know that it helps me. I probably can keep myself off Facebook because I have bills to pay and I will have 2 kids to feed soon. But I still know this helps, right? So about my pitch, I'll keep the pitch simple. Try to keep it as simple as you can. And then when you're explaining features and benefits, you want to show this person how they're going to use the product in their own situation. Build a system to fit them. So I want to think about how a grandma's going to use it. I want to think about how an old person's going to use it, how a family with kids, how a 50-year-old middle-aged man living on his own is going to use it. A young couple with no kids. Like I'm going to build it to suit how they want it. Paint the picture and show examples of why and when they'll use it, and that'll help you sell more as well. And so that's kind of the training there, guys. I do apologize for looking like I wasn't prepared. I actually did spend like a good amount of time on this thing, and then I turned into an 80-year-old grandma when I couldn't figure out my own freaking tech, which is embarrassing. But do you have any questions or anything?
One thing I would add, Jackson, thank you. I thought that was great. Don't get bottlenecked into only pitching one thing. I know a lot of guys will say, hey, I'm a doorbell camera kid, and that's all I pitch. We had a rep that only would sell doorbell camera door lock on every single house. That's it. We have a rep right now that sells 250 plus a year that will not sell cameras because he just doesn't want to mess with it. He'll only sell tier 1. And I've told him multiple times, like, hey, you're losing money because there's people that want other things. So open your sales funnel and learn the equipment. Like I said, don't overcomplicate it, but you know what I mean? If they have cameras, that's okay. Like our cameras are going to be better. So, pitch them normal and then add on. Hey, a lot of people like our cameras because of the 24/7. A lot of people like our cameras because you don't have to recharge them, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I would say learn all the features. Um, the alarm can actually do a lot more than most of our salesmen even know. They're cool. You know, you can give people different codes. You can do different door locks. You can turn off the alarm with your door lock, different codes, know when people are coming and going. So I would say that, like, have a system, stick with it, but don't bottleneck yourself so much that you're only selling people that want an outdoor camera with a nice car. You know what I mean? Open up the doors with that.
Yep. And I would say if you don't know how to sell something specific, it is good to be well-rounded so you can answer questions. We have training manuals that will explain how things work. Also, get with your recruiter. I remember that was one of the biggest things I was always asking my first summer is, how do I sell a door lock? Okay, how do I sell a thermostat? How do I sell a doorbell camera? And maybe I didn't throw up all that information, right? But when someone asked, or when I saw that they had a door lock and a doorbell camera, then I was ready to pitch an outdoor camera. Or like Brad said, yeah, like maybe they had everything except a smart thermostat. That way I was ready to pitch a thermostat and I knew how to pitch it and sell it. So you definitely want to be well-rounded. If you don't know how to sell those things, again, get with your recruiter. We have manuals that help explain how to sell things too. That'll definitely help you.
Jackson, it looks like someone has a question in the chat. I don't know if you.
Oh, yep, let me see chat.
What do you do to reset between the doors, Jackson?
Yeah, so to reset between the doors, I like maybe take 10 seconds and just and take a couple deep breaths and try to calm down there. And then I will literally visualize myself selling this next person. So I will think about, again, like I said earlier, I will really try to convince myself this person needs it because of this and this and this. So a quick 10-second reset, take a couple deep breaths. Make sure your iPad's ready too. Like get your cell slicks out, your keynote, and then start to envision why this person walking up to the house, it looks like they have a couple of kids. I hear some screaming in the background. I see they have a car parked outside, and then they're probably married. There's probably a wife that lives here. She's probably gonna want a doorbell camera. So I'm ready to sell them when they come out, and I already believe they want it.
Any other season guys do have any good reset tips for Grant?
Yeah. Midway through my day.
Everybody has different things.
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, TJ. I think
I was gonna say, we'll talk more about this later, but working your area and working your hood, there'll be a point when it's time to go back to where you started because different people are gonna be home now. And I'll use that as a reset point where it's like, hey, it's 5 o'clock or it's 6 o'clock. I don't have one yet, or maybe I have one and I want to get two or three. I'll use that as a reset time to be like, hey, I got 5 minutes walking back to the beginning of my hood, noticing the other people home, just kind of taking a breather and realizing, hey, there's still a lot of time left on the clock and evaluating my day and just taking a couple minutes as a breather. I found that's a good time for me.
do we have any other questions? All right. Well, thank you, Jackson. We appreciate it.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
And good luck with everybody on the Blitz. Go finish strong. Friday and Saturday are the best days.
Good luck.
Thanks, Jackson.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thanks, Jackson.
Thanks.
Thank you, Jackson.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Jackson.
Thank you, Jackson.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you, Father
Thanks,
Jack.
Jackson.
Yeah.
Father Jackson, we miss you over here.
Yeah, dude. Yep. See you soon.
Yeah, bro. You're looking at it.
Yep. All right. See you guys.
See you, Father Jake.